Hello, welcome to the Babylon Theater Historical Museum and Gift Shop. Some people call it the Haunted Museum of Gift and Gift Shop. That's because this museum is set up much like the offices and studios and performance spaces of Babylon Theater, a real recreation. And it's been thought that sometimes the Babylon boys work here, or if they're not here, at least their spirit is always with. To identify myself, A.J.K. Waterbottomley. And if you are a history buff of Babylon Theater, you'll understand that name. I have just 3 rooms in this cavernous institution that I'd like to take you through tonight. So let's get started. This is a hallway to some of the prime rooms in this great museum. We're going to walk through this door. This is the what's known as the library, and if we keep walking here, we're going to go to the office. Those of you who have followed many of Babylon Theater's productions will recognize that sometimes Chick Utley stands here. This is not the office, but a reproduction. There are other satellite campuses of this famous museum in the Southwest Desert as well, but this is one of them. And we're just going to look around here. Follow me over here. This is something I discovered just the other day. If you can get a close-up of this, these are original Babylon Theater matchbooks. I don't know how many of them are left. I found 2 of them lying here. Just kind of pan around here and look at this desk. You'll see emails and mock-ups of business cards. This is like a workspace for Babylon Theater. And this right here, let me show you this if I could. This is the original bundle of asterisks bottle. Any and all of these might be for sale if you call the number you do not see on your screen. So that's modern Babylonian comic things. Now let's take a look, follow me here, into this is what we call the library. I don't know what we'll find here. Look, look at this. It looks like a binder here. What do we think? What do we have here? Well, it's an original mock-up of the Babylon Theater, Babylon Theon DVD. What else do we have? Oh, I see a picture here. What is this? Look at that. There's an original Bone Stranger postcard, I think that is. Some other things. These are all emails between Greg and Nolan. There's an annual letter from the Church of Golly. That I'm sure is for sale if you are interested in that. Well, let's look around. Put your camera up here if we can. What's this down here? What's that right there? Oh, now that is a find if you ask me. Take a look at this, folks. This is an original box set. I want you to get a good look at that. A box set of Babylon Theater audio tapes from the 70s and 80s. I don't know if that's for sale, but it'd probably be thousands of dollars if you could find that. What else do we have here? Oh, what's this? Right there, we just saw that picture of the Bone Stranger. There is an original Bone Stranger mask. Right. So let's walk in. This other room. It's actually set up like a bedroom. Look at these. These are posters. We call this the poster room. And over here is a bookcase. I want you to just take a look at. I want you to take a look at this It's a CD, not a DVD. Ancient Babylon, Tales from the Old Fort. Now these are audio tapes from the very beginning of Babylon Theater. This is the Steamy Session, something they did in Idaho a couple of years ago. There's a copy, a pristine copy, probably only $200 or $300 for that. If you call the number you don't see on your screen, right there, Babylon Theater, picture of the boys on the back. So just that, but having seen that, I want to show you some of the things here. This is a poster from a play by an Iranian playwright that, as you can see, Nolan of the Babylon Theater directed. It doesn't say Babylon Theater on here, but it is. These are some of the historical things. Follow me over here to right here. Here's a couple of posters that I found from the Salt Lake City days. This is a poetry reading. And here's another poetry reading. Posters. I don't know who did this poster. It's old, it's practically ancient, could be from the 19th century, the way it looks. And the posters from There So Nar and Yet So Fear. These are, I'm sure, for sale. Look how pristine those are. You don't see that every day. But I want to show you the coup de grace here, right here. Actual album covers from albums that you may or may not have seen. I want you to get a kind of a close-up of all of those, the greatest hits, just barely a white man, Before Babylon, over here, Return to Babylon, Dog Dreams by Babylon Theater. Of course, we all know this famous picture, the Tower of Babel. These are all by former Babylon Theater member Corey Dangerfield. And look at this. Here is something I think almost anybody who's a real Babylonia-phile would want. These are signs from their recent video that they used. I don't know if you remember those being waved in the breeze, but they are. And these, either the originals or reproductions, are for sale. So I'd like to say thank you. And this is just 3 small rooms in this giant complex. Sign up for a retail visit at any time. This is AJK Water Bottomley saying thank you and good night from the Babylon Museum.
Hi, Nolan here from the Modern Babylonian Comics, and I'm here to give you a little introduction to the gift shop we have out at the Babylon Theater Museum and Haunted Museum and Haunted Gift Shop, Haunted Gift Museum Shop. We don't spend a lot of time there because we have people to do that. They make a living from us and we try not to get in their way too much, but they asked me to do a little introduction. And I said, well, how little do you want it? And they said, well, you don't have to write anything down, just go on and say a little something about what you think of the idea. Well, here's what I think of the idea. You know, Greg and I have never actually had a line of merchandise, or merch as they call it these days, because we pretty much didn't want to give away anything we had, especially since we weren't selling anything we had in the first place. So it's a little different world now. We're thinking in the future we might need to retire someday, you know, something like that. And so we're thinking maybe some of you folks can help us along on that road with some of the things. Now I've got to tell you that we're not selling these things cheap. The cheapest thing we have is probably free. We're going to give away some complimentary Babylon Theater matchbooks with purchases, at least for the first 30 days or so after you hear my voice. So just keep hearing my voice, and that could go on for quite a long time. But otherwise, we're going to charge up the nose, through the mouth, and into the coffee cup for some of this merchandise. Things like, our birth certificates, passport and bank account information, stuff like that. But there'll be a few things for the kids, or for the poor people, or for the people like us who are somewhere in between. So don't worry about it. I'm just here to tell you that you're going to do us a big favor. Number one, if you go to the museum and see some of the things that are there to be seen, and some of the things that are not there to be seen, but sometimes are seen anyway. There have been hints about ghosts, manifestations of various characters, and some of those characters manifest normally in some scary ways, so I can't wait to see them pop up in front of my face next time I'm at the museum, which will be a first since they just opened. That's about all I got to say about it. The gift shop is open 25/8 from 10 to 9 daily. And basically every time there's a show, we open it up for intermission. And we're also open on all Canadian holidays.
Hi, I'm Tanya TV Down, Director of Online and Out-of-Line Gift Sales here at the museum.
And I'm Tiny Texas Biggs, janitor. Remember when I was a kid and how I always wanted to have my favorite TV hero's costume to wear when I went out to play? Well, now you can.
Or, if you were like me, you can just buy this picture of the Bone Stranger that you can gaze at longingly while your friends are out playing. When I was a kid, I remember that the adults used to say, "Oh, those Babylon boys, they don't write their own plays and they don't play their instruments either." But now you can buy this book of Babylon Theater plays, which will prove to them that they were wrong.
That's right, Tanya. I guess we showed them, didn't we?
Do you remember seeing this picture? It was the Babylon Boys' most famous concert, after which they decided they were done hitting the road and went into the studio for the rest of their careers. Now you can have this picture for your very own, and you can have a Babylon Boy with you every night. And now, speaking for the Babylon Boys and Tiny Texas Pigs, this is Tanya TV Down, saying good night from the Babylon Museum.
Hello, this is John Babb from Babco. Boys, you told me that at least one of my products would make it into your promo for the gift shop, and I haven't seen one yet. Just wanted to let you know. Bye-bye.